Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. You're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And with me are
William White, aka Ninja Panda 1980.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
Wendy, also known as Ninja Jupi or Jupi-chan. And now I want to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man whose eyes work, Johnny
Rodriguez.
all right, amigos. Today we're going to be talking about AEW Dynasty. And I do want to say that from now on, in case, kind of streamline the podcast a little bit. Whenever there's like real big wrestling news that's big enough that, you could spend an hour or two talking about that alone and everything, we're going to have a separate episode just about that. Because that way, if you want to watch a podcast about, let's say, AEW All Out or something, you're not kind of bored because the first hour is about the last dumb thing Tony Khan did or something, or some other news about Stardom or whatever, stuff. You're like, dude, just get to the pay-per-view, So now we're gonna cut them up. We're gonna have a separate video for any other news, events, and controversial things, and then another video for the actual pay-per-view. So we're gonna get started here. And as usual, this time pay-per-view was so soon after the previous Ring of Honor, we didn't have time to do our usual separate predictions videos, but we did have our predictions made here, and Jupes will be keeping the scorecard. So we're gonna breeze real quick through the 0 hour and then get to the the actual show and everything. So just real quick, the 0 hour had a match which was Trent Beretta going up against Matt Sydal, and Trent actually won that one. So there you go. Trent's kind of making a name for himself since he went heel and everything. And who did we go for that one?
So it seems that everybody went for Trent except for me and Johnny.
Oh boy. Then we had a tag team match with Orange Cassidy going up with Katsuyori Shibata, and going up against Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor himself, and Lee Moriarty with Anthony Ogogo. You guys still remember him, just kind of loitering around. So Orange Cassidy and Shibata won that match.
And for this one, everybody went for Orange Cassidy and Shibata except for Johnny.
Here we go. And then the final one we had here for the, let me see here. Yeah, there we go. For the 0 hour, which is what they call the pre-show. We got Bullet Club Gold, or the Bang Bang Gang, Jay White, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn, going up against the Acclaim, Anthony Bowens, Matt Caster, and Billy Gunn. We'll talk about that in a moment. And basically, it was a winner-take-all. They all had like the AEW World Trios titles and the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championship. Whoever wins will unify the titles and everything. So Bullet Club Gold won that match. And now they unify the titles. I'm not sure what are the titles now though. Now they've been unified. Where are they officially called?
I don't think they've changed the name yet. I don't think.
Yeah, but it was a combination of the AEW World Trios and the Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag. So what are they now? Just the AEW Trios?
I don't. Well, like I said, I don't think they really know yet because they haven't appeared on TV since. So
well. Didn't they show up on Dynamite?
Yeah, I forgot what they called the belts though. No, it was a sloppy episode overall. But
I didn't hear anything anyway. The audio was bad.
Yeah. But
all right, so for that one, everybody went for Bullet Club Gold except for Jack.
Yep. And yeah, so the controversy with that one was with Max Caster with his usual raps he does. His usual rap. I think it was his own song, the trial stuff with presidential people there. And but then the thing is, he decided to do like a second verse after the music stopped and did like a little a cappella version of it. And yeah, he kind of went kind of far there. The last line, he said something else, but the last line was of course like, yeah, these people are gonna.
I had 2 words for you.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. So anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah, and he actually had the thing where Bowens is like, oh, cutting him right when he says it.
I'm not part of this, Mr. Khan. Don't fire me.
Yeah. So thoughts on that part, guys? That's the only part that's kind of, it's like what Johnny said. Nowadays, you remember more the controversial things than the actual match, But
well, I just want to take over a little bit. The reason I voted against the Bullet Club Gold isn't because of the talent. It was because honestly, Two reasons. One, I wanted their stupid feud to end. And two, the bigger reason is I don't want Jay to be stuck in a damn tag team again. I want it to be over with him. You know, I want him to be a solo wrestler again, man. But they go, no. So I'm like, well, at least I got half of what I wanted. But it's also like, I don't.
Unfortunately.
I'm like, my hopes for Jay White are buried and dead. So I'm just planting roses where his corpse is at right now. So that's basically where I'm at. That's all.
Thoughts on the rap though? Rap lyrics?
I literally don't even remember it. I literally don't even remember what he said. Legit. I really like when I'm not joking when I say this. I mentally block out every time Anthony Bowens talks. Literally, all I hear is just like, all I hear is when he talks, I hear the Muppets teacher. Yeah, that's what I hear. I just hear him go, yo, listen. I'm like, that's my cue to turn off my brain. And I just hear, yo, listen.
It was like,
that's all I hear.
Jay White sucking. It was like,
Oh yeah, Jay White sucking his.
No. You know what I hear? I hear if anyone remembers Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when the putties would talk. The putties, literally, Tony Oliver, the voice actor, Tony Oliver literally said how he came up with the voice. They didn't have a voiceover effect for the Sentai. So they said, well, we have to have something. And he just for shits and giggles got up to the mic and went, and they added that. And that's the voice of the putties. So every time I hear Anthony Bowens talk, that's all I hear is that's all I hear.
Yeah, I'll find some putty shoulders for the pictures that you guys are probably seeing now. Johnny, any thoughts?
My bad. I don't really remember too much about the match. I forgot what he was rapping about, but I did kind of remember that was something political, you know.
Well, he was saying, I think the one thing was something about like these guys always choking, blah blah blah. They have a chokehold on my nuts, and then blah blah blah. And he's gonna be, I don't know, something about the doctors are gonna say to get the taste off his dick or something like that. Like implying that. Yeah, that. Like,
I was like, whoa, no.
Like I know it's a painful view, but you know, I mean, I'm not too surprised at this point because Acclaim, they always say controversial stuff anyways when they're singing, when they're doing their rap. You know, that's their gimmick.
I mean, but not like that.
But that's still like a little too far, you know. Like.
What about the kids in the audience? You shouldn't be saying that stuff in front of kids.
Yeah. Thoughts, William?
I don't know, because you have to, it's also a wrestling event that has like those super bloody John Moxley matches all the time. So I don't know how kid friendly that is.
I don't know, but I think that's easier to explain to a kid than explain it to a kid what does suck your what means? What does it mean get the taste? I mean all of that stuff, because that's all just, I don't know.
Oh God! I imagine the kids like, Daddy, what suck my dick mean? I don't know. I mean, I thought Bowens was the gay one. I don't know.
Daddy, what's a testicle? Don't worry about that. Just pick up the barbed wire.
I don't know. I think that's a little easier to explain to something like that to a really young kid. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, if I had children, I wouldn't want them hearing something like that.
Also, the funniest thing about it is Anthony Bowens is the least threatening looking dude I've ever seen. Motherfucking looking like.
Well, Max Caster's the rapper guy, though. You get him confused.
I know. They both look unintimidating. They both look so unintimidating.
Bowens is the one that later on goes.
Max Caster looks like Lionel Richie. I'm gonna flat out say. Max Caster looks like Lionel Richie going, "Hey kids, you guys want to see some real hardcore rap?" And then putting on, and you're like, okay, you're out. Get out. That's what he looks
anyways,
like. No.
we're done with the 0 hour. We're gonna go.
One thing I would like to say about one match, the match with Orange Cassidy and Shibata. Okay, even though Orange Cassidy and Shibata won, One thing I did wish would have happened, I wish Shibata would have made the pin instead of Cassidy.
Yeah. Now, what I do want to say, we're going to start with the actual show now. But before we do that, we got to make sure that Ninja Jupi is properly dressed, taking into consideration the main event of this match. So just give me a second here.
Hey, I didn't get to say anything about the match.
Go ahead, Pan. Oh.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm scared. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what's going on here. But William can go ahead. He didn't give it.
Yeah, go ahead, Wayne.
Okay, now as far as my review of the match goes, I'm really upset with it at this point because Jay White and the Bullet Club Gold, they won, but now he's got to be stuck in tag team hell and be a low carder for the rest of his AEW career. I mean, I hate the fact that that's going to happen to him. He needs to be in singles competition. He should be in the upper cards of AEW, but it's not going to happen. And this actually reserved it for him. Not to mention the Acclaimed. You guys are talking about the rapping. Dude, I've heard better raps come off of my skipped, broken copy of Parappa the Rapper from PS1.
Oh,
God. There you go.
You gotta believe there's problems with
the
those
rapper
kids.
okay.
Max Caster's rapping makes Dr. Seuss look like fucking 50 Cent.
No, but anyway, this is the impromptu episode of the unboxing zone while talking about Max Caster and Jay White. But yeah, go try it on.
That's a nice shirt. That's a nice shirt.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
So, are we on the Orange Cassidy versus Shibata?
Yeah, you can start giving your thoughts on that one, guys.
I didn't really have any opinions about it. Like Shibata and Orange Cassidy, it's just kind of like, you sign one of the best wrestlers on the planet and you put him with Orange Cassidy. It's like, okay. I don't see the end goal here. So, okay. That's pretty much all I could say about it. Also, I did finally watch that rap. I did just watch the rap while you guys were talking.
Yeah.
How is it, and I'm not trying to be that guy, how is it Max Caster's rap is gayer than anything Anthony Bowens could do? Like, that was the most homoerotic, like rap insults. I'm like, this is like insults I'd hear. Like, even I have friends that are in the LGBTQ plus community, and I think they would be like, something you need to tell us, honey. I'm just thinking, like, you seem to be talking about your junk quite a lot, buddy. That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh wow! I finally have something for it's not on.
Makes me wonder who's ghostwriting for him. Gold Dust? I don't know.
Yeah, the first match was Okada versus Pac. And I remember it was a pretty intense match, though. Pac did show a lot of good skills. And I did miss seeing him in action. But, got them deadly kicks and everything. But in the end, Okada won the match. But, yeah, it was a pretty good match. But pretty much kind of another, like, I guess, dream match scenario. It was a match for the AEW Continental Championship, which Okada was already the champ. So, of course, Okada retained and everything. But,
yeah, and I took a few notes.
You're going to hear me say this a lot. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to say one thing about this match. You're going to hear me say this a lot for this pay-per-view. Great payoff. Needed more setup. I'm just going to say that. Go on, Wendy.
Yeah, I was saying for this match, for me, I mean, I liked it all right. I thought it was a pretty good match. But I did like when Okada was trying to use the Rainmaker and Pac reversed it. I thought that was pretty cool. So that's something that stood out to me. And I said, I'm not going to remember it a week later, so I had to write it down so I could refresh my memory. So I was taking a few notes when I was fully invested. And the fact that what Okada like had Pac like he was like dominating, right? And then, then Pac turned it around. I mean, I kind of like that. All the near falls and the part where Okada was like giving his finger to the audience and the audience was going like F Okada. And I thought that was crazy. And then there was the other part, when Pac lost and it was like and the audience were chanting, "He's our bastard."
But it was kind of odd though how the camera did like linger a lot on Pac in the ring. So I hope that's not meaning that he's going to be leaving or anything like that, because that was kind of weird, sorta. Like the big focus on him instead of just like, okay, let's move on to the next match or whatever.
Yeah. And when I think of Pac, I just think of injuries. So let's hope there are no injuries for him to be gone again, because Okada was throwing him around like a rag doll. Let's admit it, right?
Yeah. Any thoughts there, William, of that match? Or
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. There were some decent back and forth moments. The close calls were tremendous. When he reversed that Rainmaker, yeah, that kind of made my jaw drop a little bit. It's good to see Pac back after all this time. And again, with it being a pay-per-view, I'm praying that the pay-per-view curse does not follow and nobody's injured after this. But yeah, I would definitely like to see them take that a step further and actually have Okada and Pac be a feud. Like a couple more matches, or hell, even if they took a New Japan style and did like an Iron Man match or best 2 out of 3, something. But, something to kind of solidify Pac a bit more now that he's back, and something to solidify Okada that's like, yeah, I want to show you guys the reason why they hired me here. That would put butts in seats. But overall, it was an okay match. If it's a starter for something, great. If not, then it was good to watch, but it was kind of a waste of time. I hate to say it.
Johnny?
Okay, so personally, because my mind has been so fogged out due to Tony Khan's stupid controversies left and right, always seeming to happen right after a pay-per-view. You kind of forget here and there, but not having a very clear memory of this entire match, but I did notice that Pac, back in action, I'd say better than ever. It looks like he's very, focused, and he's probably one of the best he has fought in a while. So I'll give you that. But other than that, I really don't remember too much about the match. In a certain way, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of sad that Pac lost the match because he was giving his all and was fighting really good. But, at the end of the day, Okada won the match.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have seen it going any other way, honestly.
Yeah. So,
I liked that I didn't think I went, but I did want to just say I appreciated that the match was like it was a solid, good variation of styles. I like that. I've said this from time after time after time. In my opinion, I 100% believe that Okada is the perfect wrestler because he actually is able to wrestle anyone and put on a great match. It really does not matter who he is. He doesn't have to do high flying. He doesn't have to do flips. He doesn't have to do poses. He's consistent. He's precise. Him and Joe are in a league like, you're like, we need a high caliber match, call him. Like, it's like that kind of level of ability. And sad to say, Jay is the same way, but they just don't use him. But the point of it is like, I loved seeing this match as a fan of both of them. But as I was saying before, the only downside is it felt like I got cheated out of like what could have potentially been a bigger deal of a match. if that makes sense. Like if they had put this match, they had built up this match. So like if they had built up this match here and then set it up for the next pay-per-view and say like a couple tag teams here and there, just kind of back and forth, then built up. Oh, dude, this would have been solid, possible match of the year candidate. But the problem is like because there's nothing, it's all frosting, no cake, and that's the problem with a couple of the matches on this card. It has nothing to do with the quality or caliber of the wrestler, because I've already said before, I never, any criticism I've ever given of AEW has never been, okay, that's not true. Most of the time has not been against any specific wrestler, with the exception of MJF and maybe one or two others. But it's the caliber of content of the wrestler and their abilities. And I loved it because it just felt like a great way to start off the show. It felt like a great example of what different styles can clash and can balance off each other. And it was essentially a dream match for me, having watched both of their careers flourish. I just wish it was on a little bit more of a higher stake, if that makes any sense. Like a little more of a like, this isn't a match of like, hey, dream match, book it. Like that's lazy. It's kind of like, that is a lot of the time what Khan does, which is he does WWE video game booking. Like, what would happen if Roddy Piper fought Triple H? Ooh, I'm like,
what did Eric Bischoff say? He called it chat room booking. That's what Tony does.
Yeah, he does chat room booking. Yeah, he does. But that, other than that, but the match as itself, great quality match. It's a match that's underappreciated on this card because there's so many good matches. But I think it was a fantastic way to start off the show. And I think it set it as a high bar that I think some of the matches don't reach, but it was a great way for people to get excited for this show.
See, Jack, and that's exactly what I was saying in the factor of it was a good match, but with no build-up or anything, or, you know, no future efforts towards a feud even in this situation, and no preemptive build-up. It was a good match, but it just felt empty. Like, something about felt empty, and that's literally what it was. There was no build-up to it.
Do you think, here's a question for you now, thinking about that, because you saw how the audience reacted to the loss. They're like, oh, they're cheering for Okada, but they also are like cheering for Pac too. Do you think that maybe possibly they're trying to build something up with Pac?
That is a possibility.
No, I don't personally see that. I see this as more of like, as far as this way, in more capable hands, yes. But right now, what I saw it as is they needed to make Okada look as dominant as possible. And they wanted a wrestler of the similar caliber. Oh, Fresca. Of a similar caliber as far as like fan favorability, but they didn't want to sacrifice any of their big stars or a possibility of like making any of them look weak comparatively. So I think it was, as Terry Funk calls it, doing the deed. So he had an established veteran fighting him, and he had Pac come in there, and he goes, "We need you to have a good fight. We need you to have a great fight with Okada." And he goes, "Okay, man, I've never worked with him before, but okay." And he went out there, and then he had a barn burner. It was a great match, but as I said, did he have a future? Maybe, and that's a big maybe. But the way the company is, I wouldn't bet on it. That's my mentality. I wouldn't bet on that. That's
I wouldn't hold my breath, but it would be nice because he's just been out. He keeps going in and out, and it'd be nice if they could do something with him where he's there. He can like get more established there. Because to me, I'm still calling him Neville by accident sometimes. But
Yeah, the one thing that was interesting is that we saw Cornette's review on that match, and he said it was supposed to be like, I guess the intention was this supposed to be like the big match to impress everyone, like Okada, like why did Tony Khan pay so much money for Okada? Here's the big match to show you why. But it was actually more impressive Pac and his ability and everything, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen Okada for a while anyway at this point, but not so much with Pac.
So what's the over-under on that one?
Oh, for this one, let me see. Everybody went for Okada, except Mark.
Oh, okay. Oh, I went for Pac.
You went for Pac.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
And something else I just realized too during this match. Okay, so Okada got thrown into the barrier, right? And he hit his shoulder, right? I'm surprised. I was expecting Pac to continuously work on that shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is on Pac's neck for this match. So let's hope there's nobody injured after this match so we can continue, right?
Yeah. So next we have a trios match, and it's the House of Black, which in this case was Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, going up against this interesting combination of Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and Adam Copeland. So that's kind of an interesting mix there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I remember it was a pretty decent match, and everyone got to do all their things. You know, you got Brody King showing his strength. You got to see a bit of the redneck kung fu from what's his name, from Briscoe. Copeland did Copeland things because he's still is the newest person on there so far in AEW. And what's his name? And of course Kingston, you know, the famous chops, trying to get people to do a chop, he wanted everyone to do chops and stuff and everything. That was a thing where he was like sitting down and they kicked him, and he actually sat back down and wanted them to kick him again. And
oh yeah,
that was weird. But in the end, the House of Black won. They were dominant. They're awesome. I personally like the House of Black because I do like Malachi Black, Aleister Black, or whatever else he's going to be calling himself. But I like that individual and his moves and everything. So I do hope that let's keep them going because they keep like appearing, disappearing, whatever. This have actually won this match. Malachi did the miss on one of them and Copeland and got the win that way and everything. So it's kind of cool. But
also I think one of the main thing that stood out to me was where Briscoe did the thing on the apron with the chair and he jumped over the
over the chair.
No, the ring post.
Oh, over the ring post.
But I forgot who he tackled for that part. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting match.
Well, what can I say? The House of Black is back. Like, they actually put on a pretty decent match. I was actually surprised. I mean, considering as much of a war as they had in the last pay-per-view, I was actually expecting Briscoe and Eddie Kingston to kind of tag up and be the winners of this match, but I was actually pretty surprised on this. Like, fairly decent match. Malachi coming in with the mist was a good callback. I'm glad to see him back again because he was gone for a good while between his injury, mental health, and everything in between. I just hope they don't go fading back into obscurity again and that everything just kind of, you know, they kind of keep more at a constant this time and stays like relevant in the plot line.
Yeah, but that's like you're saying House of Black is back. I'm thinking, yes, but please stay back. Like stay here. Don't go away again.
Yeah, like they're basically the McRib of AEW. It's like back for a limited time, the House of Black. And now if you order, you also get some Brian Cage sauce at no cost. You know, just
I don't know about that one.
Hey, Swerve can do not Swerve. Now I'm not gonna do the Shamrock Shake.
So basically, the House of Black is like the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
yes, that's exactly what they are.
Well, thoughts on that match, Johnny, if any?
About this match, actually surprised that, I don't know, I kind of felt like Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston, I don't know, they did that much in this match. That's the only thing I kept thinking, like, damn, well, what the hell is Briscoe and Eddie Kingston doing in this match? Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't really remember too much, but I did remember that it's still kind of weird that they lost. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it kind of made sense that they would lose because Eddie already has a title and Mark
It's the
won
Ring of Honor champ.
all the Ring of Honor champ and all that other stuff. Adam, on the other hand, he has nothing there.
He still works here. He still works here.
I mean, that's about it with him. But yeah, so it made sense for the House of Black to win because you had 2 out of the 3 that already are title holders. That was just my thought process. Ooh, how about the rest of you guys? Anyone else?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna. I didn't think House of Black was gonna win because they haven't won anything significant in forever, and also on top of that, they're fighting up against 3 established champions. So I was just like, okay, odds are not in their favor. So okay, I guess I'm just gonna bet against them. That's pretty much it. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess they won. Hopefully this goes somewhere, but like I said, not holding my breath. So that's pretty much it. That's all I really could say about the match. It was solid. It's kind of there. I was like, okay, cool. That's pretty much it. That's all I really could say about it.
Yeah. So like I said, that one, the House of Black won. So what did we go for this one?
So everybody went for the House of Black except for Jack and Johnny.
Oh boy. Yep, there we go. And yeah, so next we have and this one I kind of saw it coming because the House of Black, they won. So well, what happened next? Is you got Willow Nightingale with Stokely Hathaway challenging Julia Hart for the AEW TBS Championship House of Rules match. And of course they choose their rules. So this particular stipulation, Willow chose that both Sky Blue and Chris Statlander were going to be barred from ringside, so it could be a fair one-on-one fight. And yeah, this match was pretty short. We know that Julia had a bit of a shoulder injury, and she had the tape. We saw the tape on her, and so I don't remember her doing much. I mean, I think she still did some offense, but it wasn't much offense, and it wasn't much of her running around and doing stuff. Willow just took her down, did the power bomb on her,
It was
and
a short match, though.
yeah, pretty short match.
But if she was injured, that's probably just the quickest way just to get Julie out, that she probably now she can be out to like maybe recover.
Yeah, but Willow.
Actually, I did find out a little bit of backstory. Apparently, a rumor is that they found out Julia Hart is pregnant. So that was the rumor because she did just recently get married. So
Was she
that's the
married?
case.
Any wrestler we know or?
No wrestler. I think the guy's just a childhood sweetheart kind of thing.
No.
I know it's a black guy.
I didn't get to go to high school with her, so that's why Juice picked her up and slammed her to the kid.
Oh,
I can't remember. I saw a photo of her with it was her at a wedding, and she was in a dress. I think it was her, and someone said oh yeah, she just got married. I'm like, oh okay. If that is in fact the case, that would make a lot of sense. I'm like, oh,
no, actually, no. The fact that she did this match when it made sense that you have that kind of, that fallout. I mean that the way she lost to Willow, that wouldn't make sense. Because if she's pregnant, she shouldn't be doing that at all because the first few weeks is the most sensitive time where you can miscarry very easily. So, no.
Hey, it worked out for Paige. No. And she has never had
Good night,
any
everybody.
problems.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, but anyways, with let's not take away from the fact that Willow is a TNT champion, and
TBS.
well, the Nickelodeon champion, and she's like awesome. It's cool. It's about time she got her dues. She's been with the company for a while. She's been over. The fans love her. The fans get that energy whenever she's up. And at least when it comes to the women, she is the consistent face and everything. Even when she got the mist in her face, she got the bright idea, you know what? I'm gonna wash it off before it crushes me and everything. So she's the face and she's cool. So there you go for Willow fans,
Yeah, and I'm a Willow fan, so there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was a tough choice. Like, do I get a Willow shirt or a Nana shirt? But the thing is, I don't know. This has been around longer. I want to get it before it goes out of print. Willow's gonna probably have way more merch and everything because Nana's not like an actual wrestler. He doesn't get as much merch.
Yeah.
And this is the only shirt that actually has him on it and not just the words Nana or something.
Thanks.
So Willow can wait. But yeah,
Thanks for the
TBS
surprise.
champion.
Yep, she is. Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, it was definitely a great match. As far as I'm concerned with Willow, it's been a long, long time coming for her to be in the spotlight. Like, this should have happened, brutally honest with you, this should have happened last year. Like, when Jade was still there. Like, this is when that should have happened. But it's finally coming to. I'm glad. I'm so happy for Willow. Now, the whole thing with Julia, I don't know what's going on there. If she's pregnant, stay the hell away from the ring, first off. And, best of luck to her. But, yeah, honestly, it was a good match. I'm finally glad Willow's finally getting to where she needs to be. Now, to take somebody off a milk carton again, since she's got the TNA title, I'm wondering if Nyla's going to start coming after her. Just a thought, but it would still be a pretty decent match. But overall, glad Willow is finally getting the respect she deserves. I'm happy for her. It was a good match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm next, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't really have much to say about the match because personally, I feel like this is just like another, Widow match, and there's something wrong with that, But Willow was very good, and it was a short match because Julia Hart's. We don't know the whole story, but
I just couldn't see her being pregnant. I mean, it makes sense.
At the very least, we know her shoulder's injured, so
Yeah.
so that's still
he
something.
had like an injury, and because AEW at this stage, I mean, what wrestler doesn't have an injury? They're always injured after a huge match, after a pay-per-view, But yeah, I'm very glad that Willow won this match, and it's about time. About that time.
Now, what's your guys' opinion on the fact that Mercedes came in, to pretty much, interrupt and all that? Wait, she didn't show
Well,
up.
I mean, to be
Yeah, she
fair, they do have a they do have a history together, so I think that's kind of an interesting thing. I love both these girls. I think they're both extremely talented as far as like young female wrestlers. Willow has so much potential. She's so good. Julia, same thing. They put on a really good match for them. And I appreciate, like, I've been rooting for Willow back when she was in Ring of Honor. Like, I've been rooting for her for a long time. I'm happy to see her finally a big champion. I hope I wish it was longer, but the way it seems like it's going, it's not going to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
I hope they do more. They actually do something with her as opposed to when she was the strong women's championship and they didn't give a shit. Because because a champion is only as good as how they're prepared, how they're presented. So I just, she has the ability. She has the capability to go huge and be bigger than she is. But it's more of the pulling of the trigger of what to do with her, or is this just transition champion city, which I don't want it to happen, but if it is, it sucks.
Now-
but
now, one thing
I
I'm
just feel like
hoping-
that's the road it's going.
One thing I'm hoping is that since Serena Deeb came back, and I think she came back in the middle of that, didn't she? Sort of? Wasn't it during that segment?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, Serena Deeb can at least pose as some kind of mini feud or something, so that at least Willow can have
Yeah.
a couple title defenses before she just drops it to Monet. If that's what happens at All In, All Out, whatever the next.
I agree.
Or not, I probably put the best here for
I hope that
feud.
happens. I hope that happens too. I hope it comes down to a situation where they actually use her proper. They build her up. They have her, defend, maybe a couple defenses. Can put her in a couple defenses, man. Just have her have a couple barn burners, just a couple. But I hope that's the case. One thing that did make me laugh, and you'll probably get a kick out of this, during the commentary, Stokely Hathaway said he's like, oh, if Willow wins, I'm going to take her and Statlander out to Chuck E. Cheese. And that's what he said. He said, I'm going to take them out to Chuck E. Cheese if she wins this belt. And then she won the belt, and literally on their Instagram, it's Statlander and Willow like high-fiving outside of a Chuck E. Cheese, and Stokely's holding the belt like, and it's funny as hell. I'm like, oh, and they actually went to the Chuck E. Cheese and they ate there. It's like, that's actually pretty funny. It's actually pretty damn funny. So I'm like, well, he's a man of his word. So I little fun little Easter egg there, but yeah, overall good match. Happy for Willow. Hope it lasts. That's all I ask. Just a little bit.
All right, so now for this one, it looks like everybody went for Willow except for Mark and Jack.
Oh man, well,
Okay.
So the next one we got here is this is one of those like matches. I mean, yeah, but I personally didn't care. Is Roderick Strong with settling his beef against Kyle O'Reilly, singles match for AEW International Championship. Now, in my opinion, I feel that if the title was not on the line, Kyle could have won, but the title wasn't on the line. And of course, right now, the big plot with them is keep getting all the titles, keeping the titles, whatever. So I knew that Roderick Strong was not going to lose this one. Roderick won, and there you go. And, any thoughts, guys?
Well, I don't remember much about the match except for this one spot where Roderick dropped Kyle on the turnbuckle on his back, and it just looked really, really bad. Like, not bad as in like, oh, it was a terrible looking move. Bad in the sense like, oh my God, my back would be hurting. That kind of bad. Looked painful. But I didn't have much. I didn't have much of an opinion or one word or the other.
To be brutally honest with you, this was one of those matches, and it's sad that their talent is just kind of meh in this sense. This was one of those matches where a title was involved, and I didn't care. Like, I legit did not care. This was a bathroom match. Like, I went to the bathroom during this match. It was two wrestlers that I don't really see anything that sticks out with them. Why one of them even has a title. The match was just there. That was it. Like, beginning to end, it was there. Roderick Strong won the title. I'm like, oh, yippee, next match. It could have not been on the card, and it wouldn't have made a difference because that was it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with this match is that anyone that was a fan of the black and gold NXT should, in all intents and purposes, care about this match, but no one did because no one cared in making it. And because no one cared in making it, you had a nothing burger. You had a big old, you had a gigantic, huge mountain of cotton candy. It's like, who cares? It's like, you see this giant mountain of cotton candy, you go, yeah, and then yep, that's the photo. That's the photo. Stokely and Statlander and Willow at Chuck E. Cheese. Yep. But like I said, I should care about this match because I loved the Undisputed Era and I loved their black and gold. I love both of them in Ring of Honor as like Kyla was half of Red Dragon. Roderick was former Ring of Honor world champion. Like there should be something for me to give a shit about, but I don't. That's the sad thing. I did not care and I could not care.
Wow. How about you, Johnny?
Honestly, I didn't even know who these wrestlers were. I mean, the story.
You'll remember the Adam, that dumbass.
Roderick, yeah.
It's been a long time ago, but the storyline does seem good enough. Like, at least there's some backstory behind this match. But other than that, like, I really don't care about this match. I don't think it's not a match to be put on a pay-per-view. Like, it wasn't really, I don't think it really stood out that much. And I don't even think the audience really care about it either. Like, it was just like a very average match.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like not really, nothing special.
It was just there. Like everyone, it was just a there match. Just couldn't get fully invested in it.
You know what? That one should have been in the 0 hour, even though it was a title match. But we've had title matches 0 hour before. That one should have been a 0 hour.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been a double 0 hour. Like, it shouldn't happen.
Oh, -0. Divide by 0.
Exactly.
So, as we all know, Roger
It should have been on the pre-show. It should have been on the pre-show. And by pre-show, I mean in an empty parking lot and no one knows about it. That would have been the best outcome. All right, everybody, we're going to meet you at the parking lot outside of Denny's. And then there's no cameras. Like, where's all the cameras?
Actually, you know, it would have been a better thing for them to do. And it probably would have been safer than what previously happened. Instead of having Tony Khan talk, just put that match on during the interview. There you go.
All right, so for this one, everybody went with Roderick except for Jack. Jack went for Kyle.
Oh boy. So next guy we had here is Chris Jericho with the gimmick now, the learning tree, going up against Hook for the FTW championship with FTW rules, which I guess are no rules. So yeah, you know, it's an entertaining match. I do have to say we were kind of worn out, so we actually dozed off during it the first time. We watched it again yesterday to have a better context here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had bats, they had garbage cans, they had the trash can lids, they had Jericho the trash can on top. He actually got suplexed a couple of times while, you know, stuck in the trash can, and just a lot of trash can shenanigans and everything.
I remember when I was watching it, when we did original watch, I said, like you said, we were starting to doze off at that point, and I was like in and out, you know, like, you know, going in and out while watching. I remember made that say, I wonder if you're going to turn to Thursday Night Thunder.
Oh God!
I mean, I was just thinking, and I only said that because of the way, I don't know, it's just.
You were saying it's the way the trash can looks so fake and so like,
you know,
whatever.
I speak for Will, and I'm offended. I'm absolutely offended that you would doze off. You missed so much nothing. I can't believe
So surprisingly, Hook
the amount of nothing.
Yeah, Hook actually kicked out of 2 Judas Effects, Double Dragon, Elbow of Dooms, and everything. And in the end, even with Taz saying no and all that stuff, Jericho bashed him with a baseball bat in the head, knocked him out, and won and got the title. And so, yeah, so Jericho is now the new FTW champion. Now, one thing is, I know the FTW champion doesn't mean anything, whatever, but part of me kind of wishes that just for the sake of whatever, Jericho should use this chance to make the belt mean something. You know what I mean? And maybe redesign the belt to make it look more like an actual belt, at least for story purpose or something. I mean, I know the belt's always been there, but this is like the only chance it actually has to mean something. You know what I mean?
Wait, forget the match. It's like,
Well,
where can you
The
go
whole
with
point of the FTW belt is that it's not a recognized belt.
Yeah,
the whole
it's
reason
an
it
unsanctioned renegade belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole reason it existed was so Taz could literally say "fuck you" to ECW because they thought he was too dangerous to get a title shot.
Oh God. Well, okay. Yeah, you guys know the history.
That was the whole premise of the FTW belt. But the point of it is like Jericho's just going to turn it into another Ring of Honor belt. When he ran that, and no one gave a shit. So
So,
because I've already said this. I've said this before. Chris Jericho is a talent vampire. He has no talent anymore. He's an old fart who needs to be put out to pasture like a dog who can't walk its own legs and has to wear a diaper. And instead of anyone acknowledging it, they go, "Oh." But instead of anyone acknowledging that, they go, but remember 96 Jericho? Remember? It's like, who gives a shit?
But now he's a learning
half
tree.
the motherfuckers in your half the assholes in your damn roster weren't even alive when he wrestled. and you're trying to be like telling me like, and everyone goes, well, yeah, but what about Sting? Sting actually was good. I'm sorry to say this. Jericho has always been a talent vampire. Everyone talks about how amazing he is. But the truth of it is, he's only been he is to pro wrestling what Jerry Lewis is to the Rat Pack. He's only a Rat Pack member because he knows them. He's not a Rat Pack member.
But without Jericho, we never would have had Ralphus.
Who?
Head of security, remember?
Oh, yeah. Jericho's entire career has been sucking out the success out of everyone else and just going like a fucking talent vampire that he is. And his entire career has been banking on the success of everyone else. His biggest claim to fame was off of the backs of Rock and Austin. His best match of his career was against Shawn Michaels because he's Shawn Michaels. Every freaking where he's gone, he's been a talent vampire. And yet everyone's just like
different now. Now he's the learning tree, and now Big Bill Cass wants to learn under him.
Yeah,
It turns out that Jericho can't teach that.
Think about this. He is the only guy. He's the only guy in pro wrestling who somehow surrounded himself with all young, upcoming, fresh talent and was the only one to succeed in that entire group. That doesn't happen without someone politicking. That doesn't happen. Don't believe me.
To be fair,
don't
Sammy
believe
Guevara
me,
shot
ask
himself
them.
in the foot plenty of times, though.
Yeah. If you don't believe me, look at TNA, look up Main Event Mafia. That's all I'm saying. Same thing happened.
You know what, Jack? How dare you talk about Jericho like that in the career he's made? You know what, sir? You're on the list. Take that. But no. So you remember what I said about that previous match when there was an actual title on the line and nobody really gave a shit? This match, I kind of gave a shit and there wasn't even a real title on the line. Like, that is ridiculous. Honestly, I was hoping that they would finally give Hook the push that he's supposed to be getting, that he should have gotten a long-ass time ago, even back in the Danhausen days, which by the way, where the hell is Danhausen anyway?
No Carton.
Is he running the Indies again? Like, what happened?
He maybe works here.
Like, do you look in a mirror and curse himself? I don't know. But, like, still, this should have been the match where he finally got his comeuppance and just, gone past the jungle jerk off incident and all the other stuff they've been going through and finally got a chance in the spotlight. And who do we have against him? Chris Golden Shovel Jericho burying a new talent once again. If Hook decides to leave and go to NXT, frankly, at this point, I really couldn't blame him. Hell, I'd root for him to go.
If he actually goes, I'm behind him.
It's fucking ridiculous. He's stuck nowhere, and then you lose a fake title, who's owned by your dad, by the way, a fake title to Chris Jericho, who, oh yeah, one last insult that you forgot, and they always keep saying on IGN due to his character model and AEW Fight Forever, is built like an air fryer. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It was kind of bad when even you could hear the crowd yelling, "You should retire."
Yes.
That's saying volumes about what went on in this match. Like, honestly, this could have been like this could have been like a zero-hour match.
It's funny how a guy who hates the word botch is the king of botches.
Yeah. Like, that whole match could have been on Botchamania for free.
It probably was. I don't know. They haven't updated a new one. Like, I mean, literally, that's the funny thing. Every time in Botchamania, when Jericho shows up, they take that audio of him saying, I hate the word botch. And it shows a move that he botched. And it's just so funny, but it's true. Because the thing of it is like, he doesn't understand. Like, I remember he said recently in like an interview, he said, I don't want to have a final match because I think that's boring and overdone and cliche. I just want to go out on my own terms. And I'm like, so your own terms are what? Squashing young talent? Basically blowing out your kneecaps? Like, what is your terms,
He's toppled over more young talent than Harvey Weinstein.
Chris Jericho looks like if Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had an inflatable cutout, except you never inflated it until now, and it was from the 80s.
Lawbreakers.
Tell me I'm wrong. I dare you.
Hey, how about you, Johnny? What did you think? Any thoughts or comments on this crazy match here?
For this match, yeah, it was crazy. It was all over the place. A lot of trash cans here and there. Jericho, I think a lot of people agree, he should just retire. I'm tired of seeing him at this point. He was once upon a time a very good, talented wrestler. And I'm not saying he's so not talented, but dude, just stop wrestling, please. This is giving me the Ric Flair effect a little bit, But in terms of Hook, I still enjoyed the match because the Hook, I think this is probably the best he has fought I think this is his best he has fought in a match. He was really giving his all, and it was kind of disappointing that he lost the match, though. I was actually rooting for Hook. I was hoping that he would win this match because just like how many of you guys say, Hook needs more. He needs this push more than Chris Jericho at this point. And it's a shame that Hook lost the match. But other than that, it was still a very good match. I selected but mostly because it was entertaining to see Hook throughout this match. I didn't care too much about Chris Jericho, but it was just entertaining just to see Hook, how far he can go. And yeah, there's a lot of good potential with Hook, and I really wish he won this one.
Yeah, but if that rumor that he's going to be leaving is true, then it makes sense for him to lose.
Mm.
Right, so now for this one, everybody went with Hook except for DJF. He chose Jericho. I would love to know why though, but unless he was thinking about those rumors and was saying like, it wouldn't make sense to have Hook, keep that title. I'm sorry, I just don't know where they can go with this with Jericho, with him with that title. It doesn't make sense. But remember on Dynamite when he got his segment, and I'm going to complain about that soon, it's for the world. That's what he said.
For Sawarudo.
Sawarudo. He said it's for the world now. Now I know what the next match is.
Yep. So next one we had here is timeless Toni Storm with Mariah May and Luther, loitering, going up against Thunder Rosa, challenging for the AEW Women's World Championship. And this one I also kind of started waking up, so I saw bits and pieces. We watched that one again.
Yeah.
And not too much I can say about the match. For me, I keep forgetting it's Thunder Rosa she's wrestling against. I'm just not.
Oh yeah, I had to tell you. I was like, hey, it's Thunder Rosa. She's just not wearing her makeup.
Yeah, I'm just so used to like seeing her with the makeup that she looks so different without it and everything. And but decent match here. I don't remember
seeing her without makeup.
Yeah. I don't remember any specific spots altogether, but I mean, Toni Storm won. That's the thing I remember the most. And she is still the champion, and she's still fabulous and all that good stuff.
Wait, did Thunder Rosa try to do that little hip spot thing like Toni does?
Yeah, I think she tried to do that.
Because they both do the hip attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember many spots either that stood out to me. I remember something with what's his face?
Luther.
Yeah, wait, something happened with Luther. I don't know. That's vague. I remember Luther.
I think Thunder Rosa got Mariah May out of there, but then Luther tried to attack you, also grabbed him and tossed him against a barricade or something.
Oh,
either the barricade or the steel steps or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah.
And then Mariah May did show up to interrupt, and yeah, okay.
I really wanted to like this match because it's two Stardom alumni. I love both of these women. I think they're some of the best wrestlers on the planet as far as female talent. And it feels like they held back so much. And I'm like, I really regretted the fact that they did, because I'm like, man, it's because she's got that timeless gimmick and they don't want to make her look bad or what. I'm like, ah, man. If it was full-on regular Toni Storm versus full-on Thunder Rosa, oh man, that would have been a barn burner. But it was, I enjoyed it. I liked the match a lot. I liked it more than the Willow versus Julia Hart match, because it was more just solid hits. I loved seeing their solid hits, their arsenal, their style. And I agree, it was weird seeing Thunder without makeup. I'm used to not seeing her. I'm used to seeing her with at least a half one. But it was kind of cool to see. It was like, ooh, it threw off. That was kind of cool. But the one thing that I remember distinctly about this match, they gave away the ending in the middle of the match, because there was a part where Toni Storm was running and the camera faded. It went to black and white and then right back. I'm like, oh, you just gave away the ending. Okay. So that means the camera guy in development is like, it's over. I mean, I'm like, okay, you gave it away. Okay. That's all I remember.
That's some strong alcohol you need for AEW.
Yep. 100 proof vodka right here.
I thought you would drink W's after the hedgehog, but that's bad when AEW has the same effect.
Okay, yeah. So with that being said, I'm starting to wonder if either Toni Storm or Thunder Rosa may have been nursing an injury or something, because that was something I noticed too. They seemed a little bit more restrained, as opposed to the way that they normally wrestle. Like they were holding back almost like, I'm guessing somebody was either trying to nurse an injury or something had gone on, but it seemed like they were almost like kind of babying each other on their moves rather than going all out like they used to. That was something I did notice. Like it seems like they put on kid gloves on this match, and I don't understand why. That plus, like Thunder Rosa, she didn't come out with her face paint on this time, did she?
No.
Which I thought was real. That's something else I thought was genuinely odd, because that's what I've always known her for. And, you know, always seen, always respected as like, what kind of cool design will she come out with next? And she didn't have one. And to me, that was also completely just strange. Like this match just threw me off. I don't understand why. It seemed like it was just like a much slower pace, way too safe for them, almost to the point of like near WWE standards. I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but they kind of take more of a safety style of wrestling than most other wrestling promotions do. Like it was getting to that point, and it's just something just about it didn't strike me right. Like it was a good match, but something was just wrong.
It felt like watching Rocky 3 on NES, and you're like, huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Yeah, and the Jericho Hook match wasn't that intense that you needed this to be like a cool down match, so I don't know. Your thoughts, Johnny?
Hey. So about this match, okay, so about this match, it was still a very good, intense match. I did notice that maybe kind of like what you guys said, maybe they did hold themselves back, maybe because Thunder Rosa just still barely recuperated from her, injury she had back in the day. The reason why she wasn't wrestling for so many months. So maybe that's why they kind of hold it back a little bit, so that just to make sure that, Thunder Rosa doesn't get injured again, because, AEW, the wrestlers always get injured really bad. So maybe they were trying to play it safer that way. I don't know, maybe it was in the contract that, hey, let's try to tone it down a little bit so that, because Thunder Rosa probably wants to continue wrestling, and that's why they probably try to hold that back a little bit. But, honestly, the match, it wasn't bad, but at the same time, it did felt like, yeah, this is why I predicted Toni Storm was going to win, because I think that a lot of people, they're still in love with her Hollywood gimmick. So I don't think they're not going to give that up soon, that quick. It's the only reason why I think he won the match. Other than that, damn, I really wish Thunder Rosa won this one, because first of all, I think she needs this win more than Toni Storm, because Thunder Rosa has been off, wrestling for, I don't know, what is it, like over a year, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like about a year or so. So she really needed to, I don't know, she really needed to make this big comeback, and she should have won this match.
Well, I mean, it would help build up Thunder Rosa, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, for this one, for everyone, it was kind of split. We were split, all of us were split on this one. So the only ones, so Jack and Panda and DJF, they went for Thunder Rosa. And you, Johnny, and I, we went for Toni Storm.